Yo, what's going on, guys? It is A-Rod Plays, and we are back at it again with another one. In this one, we are playing with the Deskbots. They are an Earth Machine deck. All of the monsters have 500 attack and 500 defense. Now, the deck, in my opinion, it's not really high level. It's not low level either. If you asked me, I'd probably put it at an intermediate deck level. It's not going to play against some of the top tier decks. It's not going to go against Mathmex. You know what I mean? However, it's probably about a 6.5 out of 10 for the fact it's heavily reliant on the hand. You got to have a good hand, and at this stage of a build, its best win time is probably by turn 2, but let's be honest, the deck, as it stands, the way I have it built, is not in its, let's put it this way, it's not its final form. I mean, we're missing cards like Machine Duplication, that's a secret tech card, but essentially we can make this deck better, but I didn't want to put the time into it. You guys can do that. Let me know if you have an updated build, but let's get to how the deck works. Essentially, what we want a main lead with Deskbot 3. Deskbot 3 essentially leads us into Deskbot 2, which when he's special summoned, we can search the deck for a Deskbot card. Deskbot base is essentially a return the Deskbots to the deck, draw that many cards for as many Deskbots as you return to the deck. That can be used as one of two ways. It can be used to get your extender to start off, or it can be used to bait an Ash Blossom, which is, in my opinion, beneficial and gives Deskbots an extra point. But moving on, Deskbot 1 is the main tuner of the deck. The extra deck is filled with synchro monsters. The synchro monsters are mainly used as negates and as the such. You'll see at the very end. But moving on to the pendulum scales. The pendulum scales are interesting. The Deskbot pendulums came at a time when pendulums were very early. So the Deskbots say they can only pendulum summon other Deskbots, which, in my opinion, is a knock a point for Deskbots, but at the same time, it also gives them some utility. The Deskbots say, like the pendulums usually say, they get additional attack and defense for each Deskbot in the grave, while the others get additional attacks for the Deskbots in the field. And so you can steal wins rather quickly if your opponent is not suspecting it. In addition, they have a lot of in-battle effects, such as Deskbot 3's effect to target any Deskbot and increase that Deskbot's attack by 500 attack and 500 defense for each Deskbot that he currently controls. In addition, I really enjoy the ability to special summon Deskbot 2 to search my deck for an additional Deskbot card. That could be Deskbot base, that can also be Deskbot 3 to set up for another win. You can also search off the pendulum if you're missing a pendulum scale, search off the tuner if you're missing the tuner. It's very good. But I won't hold you guys up. Fast forward the video to the deck tech if that's what you guys are looking for, but otherwise, enjoy the video, enjoy the music, and I'll see you in the deck tech. right. So we have 3 Deskbot 1s. Like I was saying, that is the main tuner for the deck. It will gain 500 attack and 500 defense for each Deskbot you control. Meanwhile, you have 3 Deskbot 2s, you have 3 Deskbot 3s. Deskbot 2 is the main search, but Deskbot 3 will always get the Deskbot 2. You have 2 Deskbot 4s. Deskbot 4, it's kind of a utility card. You can pitch a Deskbot from your deck to the grave. He'll get an additional attack and defense boost. You can also special summon 2 Deskbot monsters with different levels from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Of course, if he destroys a monster, that is. But the 500 attack boost for the level is pretty good. But moving on, we have 2 Deskbot 5s. I don't think it's that great, but it's good to have. It's a mystical space typhoon on a monster, so why not? Moving on to Deskbot 6. Deskbot 6 is very good, in my opinion, because you can change its battle position of an opponent's monster, or your monster for that matter, and it also has the same boost. Deskbot 7 has an interesting effect. It can, if you have 2 out on the field, that is, it can essentially stop your pendulum monsters from being targeted, but Deskbot 8 has the same kind of effect, and it's essentially saying, like, I don't know, it's basically the same thing. You guys are gonna have to, like, play around with that. Deskbot 9 is the big swinger. You know, he's got the hammer. He's bringing it down. And moving on to spell cards. It is 1 Change of Heart, 1 Raigeki, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Monster Reborn, 2 Iron Draw, basically Pot of Greeds, 1 Upstart Goblin, 2 Deskbot Base, 1 Terraforming, 1 Machine Assembly Line, 1 Limiter Removal. You need it. It can get big swings, but the Machine Assembly Line, that's secret tech. 1 Infinite Imperm, 2 Ash Blossom, 1 Effect Veiler, 2 Triple Tactics Talent, 1 Cosmic Cyclone, and 1 Dark Ruler No More. Moving on to the extra deck, 2 Deskbot Jet, 1 Barone, 1 Borreload Savage Dragon, 1 Stellar Wind, Wolf Freyette, 1 Stardust Dragon, 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, 1 Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. Very good cards. Moving on, Black Rose Dragon, Celestial Wolf Lord Blue Sirius, Goyo Guardian, Naturia Barkion, Naturia Beast, Old Entity Hastor, and Mistbird Clausulus. That is the deck. Hope you had fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. See you next time. Later.